Living in Georgia have been living in fear since the fighting began there, and today U.S. officials evacuated 170 of them from this unpredictable battle zone. American Lisa Kessner is near Tbilisi right now, and she's joining us live on the telephone. And Lisa, just describe the situation there right now. I know it's nighttime, and you've got children, and they're asleep, fortunately, but describe the kind of things that you guys have been seeing.
I'm right now actually in Tbilisi in the outskirts. And this evening has been very quiet, but the biggest challenge has been to get accurate information about what is really going on in order to assess the risks and decide what we want to do as a family and as a team at the organization where I'm working here.
And you've got friends, I know, who have been evacuating to neighboring Armenia. So far, you're staying put. Why?
Well, some individuals have decided to leave voluntarily, and the U.S. Embassy has facilitated the voluntary departure of some Americans. As far as I know, no one has actually been formally evacuated. We did have some friends that decided to cross the border into Armenia this evening, but the advice we were getting through the United Nations system and through the UN was that better to shelter in place. In other words, if you're someplace safe, better to stay there than to get out on the road. And that is what we and a lot of our friends have decided to do. So we're staying here tonight.
And that's probably a good idea. Do you think, though, from what you've been hearing, a mandatory evacuation may be necessary for yourself, for other Americans who are there in Georgia, given what you've seen?
Well, all I can say is I think most organizations are preparing for that eventuality, my own organization included. We are making sure that we know where our staff are and have ways and vehicles in order to be able to leave. So we're preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. I personally have moved my family since Saturday from a location downtown to a friend's house that is on the edge of the city, where there's a basement and access to communications, including cable television and CNN.
Well, I was going to ask you that because you did say it was confusing in terms of how the information you were getting. How are you getting most of your information?
Cable television, the internet, the local Georgian news, friends sending SMSs around, pretty much every way you can imagine. But there's a lot of rumors flying around within the city. It's hard to know. The press, the local press, it's been unclear. And even Saturday morning on CNN on the internet, there was a report that the city had been bombed, Tbilisi, which in fact was not the case, so I quickly got in touch with family at home to let them know that was not the case. So there's a lot of misinformation, not helped by the fact that the Russians are telling quite a different story than the Georgians.
And Lisa, you've got 3 children there with you, including a little 8-month-old. How are they?
They're doing fine. We're staying with friends who also have a kid, and we are, trying to keep them occupied, and even went out to the park yesterday. The eldest, the 8-year-old, is the only one who maybe has some understanding of what's actually going on.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in whatever you decide to do in getting out over the next few days. Lisa Kessner, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
And thank you for your coverage of the event.
With me now